roads leads to Rome, but also we need from Rome to the world. Not only stay here, and it's nearby Sakala Maxima or Colossa. It's very old town, but we need the food produced on the ground and in the field. From Rome to the world, it's more challenging than you come to Rome. That's why we try to attract you come to Rome first, and then you go back to the corner of every corner of the world. Always one goal. From an online gathering in 2021, the World Food Forum has grown into a global flagship event, attracting thousands of people and leaders from around the world. All with one goal, transforming global agri-food system for better food secure future for all. We have shown how we can do better together. The forum has also grown geographically from just one stage in Rome at the start to the over 62 national youth chapters actively today worldwide. From the handful of sessions 5 years ago to more than 300 events during this week. And before, it was only 1 hour celebration World Food Day, but now it's a whole week with 300 events. Last year, it's more than 45 participants online, and about 8,000 to 9,000 people in person. This year, just Maximo Toro informed me yesterday, it's already registered 12,000 come here. Even we have more than 1,000 indigenous people to come. This is what happening when the vision becomes action. This is what happening when the youth are in the driving seats. Not only on the second driving seat, now they are in the driving seats. Put them, like unleash your kids. Yeah? Always try to get them on the second seat. No, they never become drivers. Put them on the driving seat. This year, we also mark the historical milestone, EFEO turns to 8. For 80 decades, EFEO, together with its members and the global communities, has moved forward in pursuing our noble mandate of the world free from hunger and malnutrition, free from want. So, Honorable President Lula, he put his lifelong commitment to end the hunger in Brazil, and now he back after 2 years' effort. Brazil disappeared from the zero hunger map. But Brazil never disappeared on the map, but they already disappeared the zero map. That's remarkable. And also Lesotho, King. King of Lesotho, so many years being the nutrition ambassador for FAO, not only for his Majesty Kingdom, and also for the Africa and for the global. He come any important event here. So I said, now Lesotho is not a big country, not as big as Brazil, but the king of Lesotho is very famous, at least similar famous to my dear brother, President Lula. So if you do good things, you have a bigger passion, and you have more impact. And also my another remarkable older brother, Professor Yunus, before he got the Nobel Peace Prize, he worked for the smallholder farmers with Microsoft. And then he established a friendship of the Nobel Laureate to support the FAO mission. So I mentioned this, of course, ladies, princess. She worked on the green recovery, biodiversity conservation in the challenging countries, being also the FAO ambassador in the region. So I just mentioned that you are 4 people. It's represent the best part of a politician in the world. Give the applause. Political commitment is number 1. In China, we say if you have biggest problem, reach the biggest boss. Biggest boss can solve the biggest problem. We are humble small boss, only solve the small problem. So any big boss, if they have a political commitment, they can solve the number one problem in the world. That's why the Lula, we just before coming here, he again to push the ministers and partners on the global hunger alliance against hunger and poverty, global alliance against hunger and poverty, because under the G20, you know, the G20, there are a lot of initiatives, but President Lula is so serious. After G20, he still keep push. So I like it, because I said that young people here, you have to learn from good models. Yeah? Good model leader, you are changing your life. Not only changing your own life, changing life who need your help. And our collective belief that food is not a privilege. Food is life. Food is culture. Food is a basic human rights. Most of us, we suffered when we were kids. We didn't have enough food. Yeah. Also, Professor Yunus, you were in Bangladesh. I think also it's a challenge of childhood. So it's a basic human rights. On 16 October, the world will celebrate the World Food Day, and the same theme as this forum, hand in hand for better foods and a better future. I choose this theme because the transformation is not built by one actor alone. Transformation is a collective effort. There is an Italian saying, every small piece completes the mosaic. So why Italy is so famous for so many arts? Because they use the mosaic. Mosaic is a piece of the fragmented cement or china, porcelain, whatever you call it. Yeah? But then you make the small fragmented piece become beautiful art. They call it mosaic. Like the beautiful mosaics you see throughout our host city of the Rome, transformation takes many pieces, many colors, many hands, and a lot of creativity and imagination. If you look at the ceiling here, yeah, it was broken. Now it's a masterpiece of the arts in this room. Once we put it together, masterfully, you can see the full vision. You can bring it to life. This year, World Food Day will also unveil something new, the Food and Agriculture Museum and Network. Italia is a long history and a civilization. If we didn't take action on the museum related to food and agriculture, I think it's not qualified as a DG. And I'm so lucky I get a strong support from the host country, especially President Mattarella. So we are going to unveil, only 1 year, we build the EFEO Museum. For Italian efficiency, it's historical. Yeah, I should always appreciate all the works. And you will see there, it's a historical museum. More than a museum, more than a network, it will be a living cultural space for food and culture. It will showcase traditions and innovations that shape our agri-food system. It will bring together heritage and technology, past and future, art and science. And just like a mosaic, it will join many fragments into a story that is larger than any single one of us. And that's why I learned the mosaic. Yeah. A lot of people enjoy mosaic as a masterpiece of art. I learned from it's a collective effort, turned from fragment to the collective power and the beauty and the wealth, of course. Dear friends, culture runs through this forum like a thread of the light. You saw it in the seeds to the food exhibition. You will hear it in the concert that unite the voice from the every continent. You will feel it in the indigenous people's territory, while the ancestral knowledge become today's solutions. Culture teaches us that diversity is strength. It is our resilience. And then we bring our different pieces together. we build something enduring. But we must not forget that around 673 million people, 8.2% of world population, still face hunger. Historically, there has been a significant improvement since the FAO was established. First, in 1945, the world population was about 2.3 billion, and two-thirds of the population, around 1.5 billion people, were hungry or undernourished. Today, 2.3 billion people face food insecurity, and 2.6 billion cannot afford a health net. It's a different level, but still we have a lot of things to do together. Meanwhile, our agri-food system strain and the weight of the climate shocks, conflict, biodiversity losses. The agency is real. That is why FAO vision of 4 betters must get us to achieve the better production that is sustainable and just, produce more with less, better nutrition that is accessible to everyone, everywhere, a better environment that restore the harmony to the planet, and a better life will bring the dignity and the opportunity to all, leaving no one behind. Each better contributes to us being better together. Each better forms a vision of a peaceful, sustainable, and prosperous world. The World Food Forum is where this vision comes alive, and it's built on 3 strong pillars: youth action, science innovation, hand-in-hand investment. Ladies and gentlemen, this year, the forum welcomes once again the Roma Water Dialogue, a dialogue that is more critical than ever in a year marked by the drought, floods, and rising water insecurity. The forum also hosts the South-South Triangle Cooperation Ministerial Dialogue, building bridges of solidarity and knowledge exchange across the globe, as well as many other events geared towards fostering partnership and action for a better food, secure future. Together, this event expands the forum's reach. They remind us that agri-food systems are not one story, but many. They are global, interlinked, deeply human. This forum is the moment to build our shared future with youth at its center. In just 5 years, more than 500 youth-led innovation projects have been supported, turning bold ideas into real solutions. Nearly 30,000 young leaders have engaged in activities this year alone. Over 16,000 youth from more than 18 countries have shared their perspective through global consultations that have shaped policies. Almost 10,000 young people have taken part in the training and mentorship, building the skills to tackle today's biggest challenges. More than 2,500 educators worldwide are now connected in a network that is inspiring the next generation. On the ground, 126 youth focal points in FAO offices, 62 national youth chapters, 330 young chapter leaders are already mobilizing action locally, nationally, and globally. Dear friends, as we open this 5th edition of the World Food Forum, let us remember that every action we take, no matter how small, adds a new piece to the global mosaic of change we are created together. For 80 years, FAO has worked side by side with nations, farmers, youth, women, indigenous people, scientists, entrepreneurs, all united by one belief that food can be a foundation of peace, dignity, and shared prosperity. The transformation we seek will not happen by chance. It will happen because we choose to act together, to be better together. And may our beautiful host city remind us that what we build together today can be must endure for generations to come. That's why Rome, we can learn. It's called the entire city. If we do good things, you will enter the history of record. Let's do it. Thank you.
Thank you, Director General, for officially opening the 2025 World Food Forum flagship event. Another round of applause. We now have the privilege of hearing from His Majesty King Letsi III of the Kingdom of Lesotho, who is also an FAO Special Goodwill Ambassador for Nutrition, for his remarks. Your Majesty, the floor is yours.
Your Excellencies, Heads of State and Heads of Government, Your Excellency, Dr. Chu Dongyu, Director General of the FAO, Your Royal Highness, Your Excellencies, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, it is my great pleasure and honor to stand before you and speak at this important forum. I was here a year ago, and I'm pleased to witness that this event continues to grow from strength to strength. Its focus on providing a platform for the exchange of ideas and the presentation of investment cases for the transformation of agri-food systems is truly commendable. I'm equally impressed by its emphasis on science and technology and innovation, an area that requires deliberate attention if we are to successfully integrate youth into the agri-food space. I am therefore grateful to the Director General of FAO for going beyond the traditional World Food Day celebrations and championing this week-long global networking event. It is my firm belief that this forum will continue to serve as a dynamic platform for enhancing collaboration, facilitating knowledge exchange, and driving transformative action for sustainable agri-food systems. I would like to take this opportunity to call upon all actors here in this room and beyond to forge a global solidarity in transforming our agri-food systems to deliver better production, better nutrition, a better environment, and a better life. We need this solidarity now more than ever, as inward-looking global policies are beginning to stall the progress made in uplifting vulnerable and marginalized communities around the world. Excellencies, distinguished delegates, as we engage in this week-long forum, let us acknowledge that transforming food systems is no small feat. It is a sizable undertaking that demands resources, political will, and broad-based buy-in from all stakeholders. While it may seem costly at first glance, the long-term economic benefits are substantial. For instance, Africa spends an estimated $50 billion annually on food imports, despite possessing vast agricultural potential. If the continent were to fully transform its agri-food systems by addressing challenges such as inadequate infrastructure, low productivity, and limited investment, it could achieve greater food self-sufficiency, reduce its import bill, and redirect those resources to catalyze broader socio-economic development, including addressing youth unemployment and other social challenges. The weaknesses in our current agri-food systems contribute significantly to structural poverty and impose huge costs on public health and the environment. The economic burden of ill health and productivity loss, largely stemming from poor diets, continues to rise. Resources meant for development are increasingly absorbed by health systems dealing with non-communicable diseases like diabetes, hypertension, and cancer. If left unchecked and untransformed, today's agri-food systems will also continue to damage our ecosystems and accelerate climate change with devastating and potentially irreversible effects on our land, air, and water resources. For this reason, I join the clarion call for urgent and sustained transformation of our agri-food systems. But such transformation is impossible without strategic and long-term investment. Forums like this one give us hope that public and private actors can bring complementary investments to achieve the change we all desire. It is imperative that governments, especially in the global South and in Africa, take the lead by providing enabling policies and making the necessary public investments to drive agri-food systems transformation. You will agree with me that for far too long we have not been strategic in the use of our domestic resources and investments to advance our agri-food transformation agenda. We have instead allowed overseas development assistance to dictate the direction and pace of our development. Today, more than ever, it is clear that ODA alone cannot drive the socio-economic progress of any sovereign state. This calls for deeper reflection and a fundamental rethinking of how we plan public investments to attract greater private sector participation. The outcome of such reflection should lead to the genuine transformation of our agri-food systems, anchored in food and nutrition security. A transformed agri-food system should be defined by progressive realization of food self-sufficiency, shorter and more resilient value chains, increased regional integration, and reduced dependency on food imports. Excellencies, distinguished guests, as we mobilize efforts and resources for agri-food system transformation, let us appreciate that its foundation lies in predictable and sustained investment, especially in agricultural productivity, critical infrastructure, and innovation. Many countries, including my own, Lesotho, have struggled to prioritize research and development in the agri-food space, which is critical to improving productivity. As a result, agricultural productivity remains low, and food production continues to lag behind population growth. Similarly, investment in essential infrastructure such as irrigation, rural roads, and storage facilities has been inadequate. Without these key enablers, meaningful transformation of our agri-food systems will remain elusive. If we are truly serious about achieving transformation, we must shift gears. This means critically examining our policy and investment frameworks, reducing over-reliance on ODA, building stronger bridges with civil society, and creating an enabling environment for the private sector to lead innovation and investment for mutual benefit. Excellencies, let me again commend FAO for organizing this Global Investment Forum. It presents an excellent opportunity to network and share experiences, knowledge, and innovations that can drive food system transformation. As we exchange ideas, let us also reflect on the unique context of our respective countries. What works in one setting may not be effective in another. When we return home, let us apply the insights gained here to design context-specific policies and strategies that will deliver both immediate and sustainable results. This forum also provides a valuable space to explore country and regional investment cases. As we consider their implementation, we must be mindful of changes in the global trade environment, which may affect our current and future investments. More importantly, we must recognize the opportunities presented by regional trade blocs. Accelerating intra-Africa trade, as envisioned under the African Continental Free Trade Area, could significantly reduce Africa's food import bill, strengthening its trading position and promote industrial development across priority agri-food value chains. This would in turn improve food security and create much-needed employment opportunities. Excellencies, as we participate in various sessions over the coming days, let us not forget the plight of unemployed youth. Youth unemployment is a major crisis in Africa, a ticking time bomb that threatens the social stability and economic future of many nations. It is for these reasons that in Lesotho, youth unemployment has been declared a national disaster. Many of us in this room believe that agriculture can play a critical role in addressing this challenge. However, for agriculture and agri-food systems more broadly to effectively absorb and empower young people, it must undergo profound transformation. the traditional image of agriculture, characterized by hard manual labor and limited access to land, finance, and credit, is simply not attractive to young people. What is needed is a coordinated and targeted effort to equip with relevant skills, to equip youth with relevant skills, resources, and opportunities in the agri-food space. Prioritize investments and innovation that make agri-food careers more appealing and dignified, and expand access to digital technologies to enable young farmers to modernize practices and connect with markets. If we commit to these actions with urgency and determination, we can defuse this ticking time bomb and reposition agriculture as a powerful engine for lifting people out of poverty, driving socio-economic development, and fostering peace and prosperity. Excellencies, let me conclude by underscoring that agri-food system transformation is a complex process, one that no single actor can achieve alone. It requires global solidarity, effective partnerships, and the collaborative efforts of governments, civil society, the private sector, and development partners. This event offers the perfect platform to build and strengthen such partnerships. I therefore call on all of us gathered here to work together toward the transformation of our agri-food systems, so that we may realize our shared vision of ending poverty, hunger, and malnutrition by 2030. Let FAO's 80th anniversary serve as a turning point for agri-food system transformation and as a launch pad for the accelerated achievement of the Sustainable Development Goals. I thank you for your attention.
Another round of applause. Thank you, Your Majesty, for your address and for your unwavering advocacy and support for agri-food systems transformation. It is now our honor and privilege to welcome His Excellency Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva, President of the Federative Republic of Brazil, for his address. Your Excellency, the floor is yours.
My dear friend Chiu, Director General of FAO from UN, my dear sister, my wife, Janja, Your Majesty, the third from Lesotho Kingdom, Your Majesty, my dear friends, heads of state, heads of government, delegates attending this forum, and ministers that came with me to my delegation, my Foreign Affairs Minister, Mauro Vieira, my Minister to Fight Poverty and Hunger, Ayrton Dias, my Minister for the Agrarian Development, Paulo Teixeira, friends. We celebrate in this forum the anniversary of the 80 years of FAO. 10 years ago, I had the privilege to participate in the celebration of the 70 years anniversary of this organization. A lot of things have changed during this time. In those days, we had the enthusiasm of adopting the 2030 agenda. the world had united itself around the common objectives, and we were heading towards a promising future. Today, as much as our capacity to act collectively as the optimism that made us enthusiastic are now shaken, these feelings, the challenges persist or even deepen, but we don't have any other alternative otherwise to insist. While we have hunger, FAO will continue to be indispensable. It's very symbolic that its foundation preceded of the UN itself. 1 week before the world leaders met in San Francisco in October 1945, representatives of more than 40 countries met in Canada to create this organization, the FAO. When the world was emerging from its most darkest moment, the international community recognized that in its future there would be no place for hunger. The Brazilian academic and researcher Josué de Castro, that presided the executive board of FAO in the 50s, said that half of the humanity doesn't eat and the other half doesn't sleep, afraid of the other half that doesn't eat. Access to food continued to be a resource of power. There's no way to dissociate hunger from inequalities that split rich and poor, men and women, white and black, developed nations and developing nations. In the 70s, some believed that agricultural output would not follow populational growth. The technological progress surpassed this prediction. Today, the world produces sufficient food to feed 1.5 times the world population. Nevertheless, 673 million people are, according to FAO, in a situation of food insecurity. On the basis of data of the World Food Program, it is possible to estimate to guarantee 3 meals a day for these people. That would cost around $315 billion per year. And this represents only 12% of the $2.7 trillion that were spent every year with military spending. Establishing a global tax of 2% on assets of the super rich, we would obtain this amount. Hunger is the sister of war, and today it's waged with arms and bombs, or with tariffs and subsidies. Armed conflicts, besides the human suffering and the destruction of infrastructures, they deorganize inputs and food chains. Barriers and protectionist policies of the rich countries destructured the agricultural production in the developing world. From the tragedy in Gaza Strip to the paralysis of the World Trade Organization, hunger has become a symptom of the abandonment of the rules and of the multilateral institutions. Rome is the headquarters of 3 FAO agencies, FAO, the World Program of Food, and the International Program for Development of Agriculture are the 3 agents that save lives, and the world would be a worse place to live in without multilateralism. Thanks to FAO, a growing number of countries acknowledge the right to food in its legislation. The rinderpest and the river blindness disease were eradicated, and the foods that we consume follow defined parameters of a universal code that guarantees its security and quality. FAO is a role model of multilateralism that listens to the developing countries, values local knowledge, and builds solutions that are adapted to different realities. Brazil has the pride to be part of this organization, the history of this organization. Its support was fundamental to establish Brazilian policies that transformed themselves as a global reference. During his 2 terms as Director General, Professor José Graziano da Silva, that is attending this meeting, has contributed for this cross-fertilization. Welcomed by FAO, our Zero Hunger program served as an inspiration for the second Sustainable Development Goals. The Income Transfer Program Together with the school meals and the strengthening of small farmers, we managed to get Brazil out of the hunger map in 2014. The setback that we experienced in the following years demonstrated that fighting hunger has to be a perpetual struggle. It's not an issue of social work. It's necessary to include the people and the poor in the budget and transform this in state policy and government policy to avoid that the progress should be at the mercy of crisis or political tides. Even countries that have small budgets have to make this choice. Since 2023, we've been working tirelessly to rebuild social policies in Brazil. The seeds we planted bore fruit. In this year, FAO announced that once again, Brazil has left the hunger map, is out of the hunger map. And millions of people started to have breakfast, lunch, and dinner. In 2024, we have reached the lowest proportion. In 2024, we reached the lowest proportional ratio of households that were suffering of food insecurity of all our history series. We also had registered lower household level of children less than 5 years under a situation of food insecurity that was severe from 2004. We're interrupting an exclusion cycle. A sovereign country is capable to feed its people. Hunger is the enemy of democracy and the full exercise of citizenship. It's possible to overcome it through government action. But governments can only act if they have the means to do so. So that's why, to enhance financing to development, reduce the loan costs, to improve the tax systems and relieve debt from the poorest countries are crucial measures. It's not sufficient to produce. We need to distribute. Few initiatives have contributed as so much as food and nutritional security as it was the international financial architect that should direct its resource for those that are more in need. Latin America and the Caribbean region live the paradox of being the granary of the world and living with hunger at the same time. Africa is going through economic growth at the same time that it could register a concerning growth of food insecurity levels. Under the leadership of Director General of FAO, Brazil became a partner and more than 40 countries strengthening the trilateral South-South cooperation. 6 Brazilian institutions, amongst which Embrapa received this year the award from FAO of technical recognition to good practices. And Brazil is willing to share without any conditionalities. Fight hunger and poverty is one of the main pillars of the foreign Brazilian policy. Last May, we promoted the second Brazil-Africa dialogue on food security, fight hunger, and rural and social development. Few weeks ago, we held in the city of Fortaleza the second Global Summit Coalition meeting for foods for school meals. And next year, we will host the 39th regional conference FAO for Latin America and the Caribbean region. It is with this solidarity spirit that was born the Global Alliance Against Hunger and Poverty, launched by the Brazilian chairmanship of the G20 and has already 103 countries that are supporting the alliance. Today, we have opened the support facility that will trigger the implementation of pilot projects in different regions. We invite all of you here to contribute with this initiative. Ladies and gentlemen, a warmer planet will be a planet with more hunger. The water scarcity, the loss of biodiversity, and natural catastrophes will affect agricultural productivities and the price of food. Technical and scientific innovations that have transformed agriculture in the 20th century and that were known as the Green Revolution. The climate change will demand from us an even more greener revolution, a more inclusive revolution. To mitigate emissions from the agricultural sector and adapt food systems to the new climate reality are tasks that demand technologies and resources. So that this transition could be a fair one, it's necessary to double our cooperation efforts. There will be no climate justice if the confrontation of global warming will not go together side by side fighting hunger and poverty. Intertwine these two struggles will be COP30 mission in Belém City. The National Determined Contributions, NDCs, could become the vehicle to promote food security and nutritional security. And this is possible, fostering low environmental impact agriculture, supporting small farmers, producing bioenergy as a renewable alternative, and compensating for those that preserve nature. We will launch in Belém a Tropical Forest Fund Forever, TFFF. That is an innovating facility that will pay those that invest in keeping their forest standing. FAO will be an essential partner to build a sustainable future. In Brazil, the Brazilian writer Carolina Jesus, a woman, a black woman, which recorded the daily sufferings of the residents in a slum area that we call favelas in São Paulo, said that the slavery of the world today can be called hunger. Our major mission is to concretize the promise enshrined in the FAO's charter and free finally humanity from this evil. Only we can fight hunger and poverty and inequalities in an efficient way when the poor will not be invisible anymore for the political elites. My dear friends, I believe that it's important for each one of us when we end this FAO meeting that is celebrating its 80th anniversary, we should show to our countries and go back to our country with the certainty that the hunger is not only an economic problem. Hunger is, above all, a political issue. It's something in terms of option. We should make an option. It's to know where the money that the government collects is going to, if the people are paying the right taxes for what they earn from the country. In Brazil, we just passed a new bill that no worker that earns till 5,000 reais, which is the equivalent of $1,000 per month, will pay any more taxes in Brazil. They have tax exemption. And we also passed another bill that people that earn more than $1 million per year, they will pay a plus in taxes so that we can relieve the poor people. So it's necessary that each ruler takes responsibility. And the It's important to remember when you're building your budget that the poor are not invisible. It is possible to look at them, they're visible, because one day they will look at us and then we're going to pay the price of the lack of responsibility of not taking care of the poor and giving equal opportunities from the rich. Thank you very much and good luck to all of you.
Okay. Thank you, Your Excellency, for those powerful remarks. We would now like to welcome His Excellency Muhammad Yunus, Chief Advisor of the Interim Government of the People's Republic of Bangladesh. Your Excellency, the floor is yours.
Excellencies, distinguished delegates, friends, it's a deep honor for me to join you today at this important gathering of the World Food Forum. I thank Dr. Chu Dong-yu, Director General of FAO, more importantly, a great friend of mine, for this kind invitation and for your bold vision in making this forum a platform for action, not just discussion. 80 years of FAO is not just a celebration. It is a call to prepare for the future. This year's theme, Hand in Hand for Better Food and a Better Future, reminds us food is not just about calories. It's about dignity. It's about justice. It's about the world we want to live in. A people's movement led by youth last year in Bangladesh, people of Bangladesh rose peacefully to reclaim their power to ensure democracy, peace, and human rights for all. It is our youth, the young people, full of courage and hope, who led that movement. Their demand was simple: to give power back to the people, to create a society based on fairness, inclusion, and trust. Today, those young people are engaged in the rebuilding of our institutions. They are shaping a new Bangladesh, one that puts its people at the center of governance. In coming February, we'll hold our national election, and with it, we institutionalize our commitment to justice and people's power. A country that feeds its people and more is very important. In Bangladesh, despite our small land area, about half of Italy, we feed over 170 million people and also support 1.3 million Rohingyas who fled under the violence in Myanmar. We have become self-sufficient in rice, which is our staple. We are among the world's top producers of rice, vegetables, and freshwater fish. Our farmers have raised cropping intensity to 214%. We have released 133 climate-resilient rice varieties. We have mechanized farming with subsidies up to 70%. We have built a robust food distribution system. We are reducing stunting. We are diversifying diets. We are greening our agriculture, protecting soil, water, and biodiversity. I'm very happy that the Nobel Peace Laureates Alliance for Food Security and Peace, which was established by FAO in 2016, and of which I'm proud to be a member, has been recognized as an FAO milestone. I hope it will continue to create more milestones as we go along. But let us speak the truth very clearly. Hunger is not caused by scarcity. It is caused by the failure of the economic framework that we have designed. In 2024, 673 million people went hungry. Yet we produce more than enough food. This is not a failure of production. It's a failure of the economic system. It's a moral failure. While we couldn't raise a few $1 billion to end hunger, the world spent $2.7 trillion on weapons. Is this how we define progress, morality, our human values. We must change the system. Let me propose a few steps. Break the hunger, conflict cycle, stop the wars, start the dialogue, ensure food access in conflict zones. Keep the promises, fulfill the SDG finance commitments, take climate action seriously, and help the most vulnerable, build resilience. Create regional food banks to manage shocks and stabilize supply chains. Create and support local entrepreneurs, particularly youth entrepreneurs, with finance, infrastructure, and global partnership. End export bans. Trade rules must support food security, not undermine it. Ensure access to and development of technology and innovation, especially for the global south and to the rural youth, both boys and girls. But we must go deeper. We must rethink the entire economic system. The old way, which is based on profit-maximizing business, has left billions behind. We need to add a new kind of business. We call it social business, a business without personal profit, that solves problems, not creates them, by creating sustainable businesses. Many social businesses are growing around the world, but without any policy support, without any institutional recognition. We must change that. Ultimate objective is to create a world of 3 zeros, a world with zero wealth concentration to end poverty. You cannot end poverty with allowing wealth concentration in a limitless way. Zero unemployment by replacing it with entrepreneurship for all. Zero net carbon emissions. This is not a dream. It's a necessity, the only way to save the world. Social business is the way forward. We have seen its power in Bangladesh. Grameen Bank showed how poor women can be powerful entrepreneurs. Grameen Danone fights child malnutrition. Yes, social businesses. And other social businesses are created around the world. They have empowered people and communities. These are not theories. They are living examples. We must create social business funds to support young entrepreneurs, women, farmers, agribusinesses, creators, and technology developers. We must build legal and financial frameworks to support this kind of entrepreneurship, not stand in its way, what we do today. And this brings me to the most important part, our youth. Today's young people are not like before. They are the most powerful generation in the human history. They are connected. They are creative. They have technology in their hands that are unthinkable just a few years back. Let's not tell them to wait for jobs. Let's empower them to create jobs. Let's tell them you are not job seekers, you are job creators. Let us give them access to capital by creating investment funds, social business funds, and let us help create agri-innovation hubs. Let us support agri-technology, circular food systems, climate-smart enterprises. All can be led by the youth. If we invest in the youth, we will not only feed the world, we will change the world. Excellencies and friends, Bangladesh is proud to support global cooperation. We are a founding member of Global Alliance Against Hunger and Poverty. Together with FAO and under G20, we are committed to real practical support, technical, financial, and moral. Now let us work together to build a world of 3 zeros. The pillars of this forum, youth, science, investment, are not slogans. They are the tools we need to transform our food system and our societies. Today's world has resources, endless of it. It has a technology, endless of it, limitless of it. It will have more mind-boggling technology coming every day. But we need the creative ideas to use this technology with appropriate business format to create a new world. If we can imagine it, we can create it. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Excellency, for your wonderful remarks. Now, let's enjoy a vibrant performance. The Bhutan Cultural Group will be showcasing of their nation.